Hey guys, welcome to the View Cryptos channel. So big news today. I'm not sure if the news is good or bad. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, charges Ripple and two executives with conducting $1.3 billion unregistered securities offering. So the Securities and Exchange Commission announced today that it has filed an action against Ripple Labs and two of its executives, who are also significant security holders, alleging that they raised over 1.3 billion through an unregistered ongoing digital asset securities offering. So, according to the SEC's complaint, Ripple, Chris Larson, the company's co-founder and former CEO, and the current CEO, Brett Garlinghouse, raised capital to finance the company's business. The complaint alleges that Ripple raised funds beginning in 2013. And before actually this came out, Brett Garlinghouse tweeted, "Today the SEC voted to attack crypto. Chairman Jay Clayton, in his final act, is picking winners and trying to limit US innovation and the crypto industry to Bitcoin and ETH. We know crypto and blockchain technologies aren't going anywhere. Ripple has and will continue to use XRP because it is the best digital asset for payments, speed, cost, scalability, and energy efficiency. It is traded on 200 plus exchanges globally and will continue to thrive. The SEC, out of step with other G20 countries and the rest of the US government, should not be able to cherry pick what innovation looks like, especially when their decision directly benefits China. Make no mistake, we are ready to fight and win. This battle is just beginning." And guys, you may think this is good, you may think this is bad, because yes, the XRP's price plunged today. It is at the moment, I think, around 46 cents, and it is minus around 10%. And Stuart Alderoty also tweeted on that matter today. He is the general counsel at Ripple with over 30 years of legal experience with expertise in banking, regulatory affairs, and complex litigation. So he tweeted, "In 2015, the US government concluded XRP was a virtual currency. Last I checked, the SEC is still part of the US government. Here's the plus side. The industry will finally get the clarity it deserves. Goodbye, how we test. Hello, Ripple test." And he retweeted Brett Garlinghouse tweet here. Very interesting. Charles Hoskinson also commented on that matter. So let's hear Charles Hoskinson, what he has to say about it.
And how does that benefit the industry? It really doesn't. So it doesn't help to call XRP a shitcoin, as some prominent people in the cryptocurrency space did in the response to this event. It's not a funny event. It's an existential event for the industry as a whole. The good news is I think that Ripple will prevail, and I think that XRP is going to win. And I think that it was very stupid for the regulator to approach this case as they have done, unless certain facts and circumstances materialize in the next 60 days to 90 days, then indicate that there's something more than what is publicly known. But on the surface, with what we know, what was said in the Wells submission, it just seems like a boneheaded thing, similar to the FinCEN recent decision, which was also pretty boneheaded and quite damaging to the industry as a whole. But, you know, we in the cryptocurrency space, we all knew this. You know, we knew that there was an uphill battle when dealing with financial regulation, and there's a great degree of nepotism and corruption and just counterproductive decisions that are made. I will remind everybody that Ripple made a decision to reward Ben Losky, a man who caused profound damage and harm to the cryptocurrency industry in New York, with a board seat and bringing him in. So as long as a culture exists where those who do harm to our industry and to entrepreneurs trying to innovate and revolutionize, that mentality is going to continue. So not only do we need to win some short-term battles, we definitely need to look at the policies as a whole and how this country handles financial regulation as a whole. Everything from investor definitions, things like the Howey test, which really make no sense in the context of the 21st century. We're no longer dealing with the 1940s. I think we can do a little bit better. And also the relationship of different actors in the ecosystem. For example, when you hold a cryptocurrency, especially proof of stake cryptocurrencies, this does give you certain rights. These are distinctly different than the rights that you gain when you hold Bitcoin or a security or a commodity or another asset. We should live in a culture where we proactively try to align those with the best interest of the growth and stability and sustainability of the ecosystem, as opposed to trying to cut them up like some sort of bed of Procrustes to fit some arcane regulation or definition that's 70 years old or 80 years old, or to avoid being in that particular box that's 70 years old or 80 years old. And lawsuits like this and events like this, they just at times show how short-sighted certain people can be, or how certain people work for a small group of people to protect corporate interests as opposed to actually benefit consumers. There are a lot of agency failures and regulatory failures in our industry, and there are a lot of problems in our industry. And in many ways, we're reliving the baronial age of the 19th century with the birth of Wall Street and the Wild West that it was. And we're kind of doing that much faster than they did. And we're seeing the similar types of behavior and collapses and so forth. But the difference is that to regulate this industry, you don't need to redo the regulation of the 1930s and 1940s. You can regulate it in different ways, and you can have different kinds of relationships with people. So I think in many ways, 2021 is going to be one of the most significant years in the history of our industry for cryptocurrency regulation in the United States. And it's going to be the deciding year of whether the United States is a friendly jurisdiction to cryptocurrencies or a hostile jurisdiction to cryptocurrencies. And should the United States make the wrong decision, I think cryptocurrencies are still here to stay. I just think the United States will lose its edge and our fintech industry will collapse, causing profound economic harm to the United States. And we'll see all of that brought. From our part, we work.
Yeah, so let's hope that 2021 is going to be really beneficial for crypto and for regulatory clarity, of course. And guys, also tweet from Mike Novogratz. He tweeted, while I won't comment yet on what this means for XRP or other 2017 launched coins, Bitcoin and ETH seem to have an SEC pass. I do find it strange that Clayton waited years to do this. So yeah, it's really strange that he waited so long to file this action. And actually, this month is the last month of Jay Clayton as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and he decided just before he leaves, he's going to sue Repo for selling unregistered securities. And Vitalik also tweeted about this. He tweeted, looks like the Repo XRP team is singing to new levels of strangeness. They're claiming that their shitcoin should not be called a security for public policy reasons, namely because Bitcoin and Ethereum are Chinese controlled. And it's really strange to see a tweet, such kind of a tweet, such offensive tweet from the founder of Ethereum. It is, yeah, really disappointing, but I don't know what to say. Obviously, actually, he is offended by Brad Garlinghouse recent comments on Bitcoin and Ethereum that they're Chinese controlled, and in this moment Vitalik obviously decided to strike back and call XRP a shitcoin. Yeah, I'm really disappointed to see this, but yeah, it is what it is. And today also Brad Garlinghouse talked on CNBC about the SEC suing Ripple for selling unregistered securities. His interview was about 5 minutes long, so let's listen to what Brad Garlinghouse has to say about it.
Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, for a first on CNBC interview. Brad, welcome. Good to have you with us. And this is an interesting story. I'm going to pick up where Kate just left off, which was the idea that investors may have thought that in buying XRP, they were buying a security that gave them shares or some ownership in Ripple. Why is that wrong on its face?
Well, first of all, Tyler, thanks for having me. I think this is an important issue. And I think there has been confusion out there. Ripple, the company, as Kate introduced, we have shareholders. We've raised capital from venture capitalists, from actually institutions, and even banks like Standard Chartered is a shareholder. XRP is a separate thing altogether. It is a currency that trades in the marketplace. In the last 8 years, over $1 trillion of the currency has traded. And so what we find is, the SEC, in my opinion, having watched this for many, many years, taking a position now that is, frankly, I think, with one foot out the door, a little bit incredible to kind of take the position after 8 years.
There are a variety of cryptocurrencies, including XRP and obviously Bitcoin and others. Why do you think the SEC has, is it something in the structure of your business that makes the SEC concerned that there may be a securities violation of some sort in here? What's different about the way you are structured that would cause them to potentially file a suit?
Well, about 2.5 years ago, a little over 2.5 years ago, the SEC came out proactively and said they did not view Bitcoin as a security. They viewed it as a commodity or currency. Shortly thereafter, they came out and said Ether, the second most valuable cryptocurrency, is also not a security. They then have spent the last 2.5 years going after kind of enforcement by saying that certain initial coin offerings were securities offerings. Actually, I've spoken out in favor of that because I think in many cases those were, in fact. XRP, however, is almost undistinguishable from what is Ether in terms of its decentralization, in terms of the breadth of activity. It's traded on a couple hundred exchanges around the world. And what's amazing to me is not a single other country anywhere has looked at XRP as a security. You've had countries like the UK and Japan and Switzerland and Singapore all come out and say things that make it clear that XRP is a currency. Actually, one other nugget I think is interesting is even here in the US, the Department of Justice has viewed XRP as a currency, and the Department of Treasury has viewed XRP as a currency. Sorry, Kate.
That's right, Brad. Kate here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. I want to ask you, you mentioned some of those exchanges. I want to ask you about the broader implications for others in the industry. Coinbase is a big name we talk about a lot. They see about 12% of their trading volume in XRP. That company is about to IPO. What would this mean to some of the global exchanges that hold XRP or facilitate trading of XRP on those exchanges?
So about 95% of XRP trading happens outside the United States on exchanges around the world. And so that's outside of the United States SEC jurisdiction. For exchanges like Coinbase that are based here in the United States, one of the reasons why I view this as something that's broader than just, hey, what does this mean for Ripple and XRP? It's what does this mean for the crypto industry here in the United States? The SEC is really picking winners. They're saying there's a duopoly of Bitcoin and Ether are the two digital assets, the cryptocurrencies that will be not regulated by the SEC here in the United States. And it really, I think, sends an ominous sign for innovation around cryptocurrency in the United States. Picking winners in general has not been something the U.S. government should be in the business of doing.
What will happen?
And you mentioned before that
Go ahead, Kate.
Oh, sorry, Tyler.
No, please, Kate.
That XRP could really go on without Ripple. If you guys sold all of your holdings of XRP, that cryptocurrency could survive. Would you ever consider doing that, divesting all of your cryptocurrency holdings and really focus more on your enterprise payments business? Is that something that Ripple has considered or could do?
It's certainly, I think, one of the ironies of all of this is that for XRP to be a security of a company, the company has to exist. And the point that I have made at various times is that if Ripple, the company, didn't exist, XRP would still thrive around the globe with, a couple hundred exchanges around the world. And there's over 100 different projects, innovative entrepreneurs here in the US and around the world building on top of XRP. And the reason why they're doing that is because XRP is far more efficient in terms of speed, in terms of cost, to settling transactions and using it really as a currency. The power consumption, as has been widely reported, of a Bitcoin transaction is dramatically different and costs a lot more.
All right, folks, we got to leave it there. Brad Garlinghouse, thank you.